Hey planner buddy. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're doing something a little different. We're gonna get a little crafty and do a little DIY. And so I'm going to be making some Mickey ears. So these are ones that I've made before. These are Lion King themed, and these are kind of gonna be the template that I follow, kind of ish. I think they're so cute. I made these like a while ago, so I'm going to be making some ears for my trip to Epcot. Actually, this video is going up super late. You guys will all have already seen my Disney vlog by the time this video is up, and you would have already seen me wearing my ears. So those ears that I'm wearing in my Epcot vlog, those I made on my own. And then so I wanted to record the process and show you guys how I created them. Also just for me, just to kind of remember how I created these, because I was trying to remember how I made the Lion King ones, and it was kind of like, it's been over like a year since I made those. So but also I know I did a different kind of process with these. It's also kind of just testing out which is the best way to do some ears, because I know there's a couple of different ways, but I don't have a sewing machine, so I usually have to resort to the non-sewing machine kind of way, and that's a little bit more tricky, I think, to get it secure. But yeah, so these ears cost me a total of like $8 or $9, not more than 10. So I got the headbands at Dollar Tree for $1, of course, and these ones are really good. I have one that I used for the Lion King ears that isn't as like secure, and those ears are kind of heavy, so they kind of like almost fall off my head if I like do some like crazy movements. So these headbands are super secure, and I really like them. I like that they're also already black and they're very simple. So you could just leave it black, or you could wrap some fabric around like I'm doing. But yeah, I need to go back. I mean, I picked up two because I was planning on making two set of ears, but I only managed to make one. So I have another one just for another idea that I have that I'll probably do sometime later this year. But I should probably go to Dollar Tree and get some more to, just to have, because I foresee myself making as many Mickey ears as I possibly can, probably for every single Disney trip that I have. But anyways, getting into the process of the ears, the first thing that I did was to wrap around the headband some fabric, and so I picked this black and white fabric, and I'm using a hot glue gun. I don't really have anything else, but I think a hot glue gun works pretty well, or the best, at least for me. So I'm just tightening it around the headband as securely as I can, going slow, taking my time. It's probably better, this way. Just take your time and pay attention to all the little details, because it actually does matter a little bit, just so you don't see like glue or anything like that. And they end up actually looking like legit ears, like from the Disney stores, and like they only cost like $10 or less to make. And the fabric I got from Walmart, these were like little like squares. I think they're called fat quarters, and these were like around $2 each, I think, something like that. But yeah, next thing that I'm doing is trying to figure out my little ear. I have these ear shapes that I cut out from the last ears that I made, but I got the template for these off the internet. There's like a bunch of different ones, so I mean, you could like print them off and then cut it out of a piece of cardboard, which is what I did, just to give it that extra secureness of the ear, because you don't want your ears to be like flapping around. So this time around, I'm trying to wrap the fabric around the ear. That I didn't do that last time, but this time I thought of this idea. I thought that it might work out a little bit better, so that you don't have like a seam around the edge. Because before, like, I've seen other videos where you have to like do the 4 pieces of the ears and then stick the 2 halves together, but that leaves you with like this gap in between the ears that you have to kind of cover up with a trim. And I don't really like that. That's what I did for my last ears, but I don't really like that look, and I also couldn't find a trim for these ears, so I went with this method, which in the end, it really did work out really nicely for me. And I think that it was a lot less work, because I didn't have to, cover up the edge of the seam. And then it just like looks, seamlessly, because like the fabric just goes around all the way. So obviously you're going to have like a lot of extra fabric left over. And I secured the cotton with some glue just to keep it in place a little bit, So what I was thinking of doing was to kind of scrunch up the fabric and to kind of have like this cool like little like texture, like scrunched up kind of look. I think it's a cool look. It's more like less perfect, and I kind of like that. And I really like how it turned out. So here it kind of did take a while to like figure out, at least the first ear did. The second ear was of course much easier, because the second time you do things, it's always much easier. But yeah, so then I just secured it all down with some glue once I had everything kind of scrunched up. I didn't really show like the process of me scrunching it up, because that was like a little bit of a struggle, just to figure it out. Well, it wasn't a struggle to figure it out. It was just a struggle to get it to look nice in the end without having to add so much glue. But then I did figure it out, and I'm just cutting up like the little edges here to like leave it a clean kind of slate. So once I do that, then I have my first ear, and I'm really happy with how it came out. Of course, I think I still gotta work out like the ear shape, because there is a bit of a gap in between the bottom of the ear and the headband, but that'll be a learning experience for the next time. So I did my 2 ears already here, just to save you a bit of like time of seeing me do the second ear. So now I'm just placing them, kind of figuring out where they need to go, kind of separating them a little bit, because if they're too in the center, then it looks kind of weird. So the next thing that I am gonna do is pick out a bunch of flowers. So I got flowers from the Dollar Tree. I think I got like 3 or 4 flowers, and they're each $1. So of course, keeping under the budget. So I just took them apart kind of, and now I'm just arranging them in a way that looks pretty. And then I'm just going to be securing them down with some of the hot glue. So I like these 2 like big leaves to have there on the top, and then these white ones to kind of have around the band. Before I put down all the leaves, of course, I'm going to be securing the ears down to the headband. I put a lot of glue because you want these to stay stuck on your head. You don't want anything flying off. Let's say on any rides, like obviously you're not going to go on like Space Mountain with these ears, because they're going to fly off your head anyway. But there's some rides that you can wear your ears, but you don't want them to fall off, of course. So this is also tricky, like if you don't have your ears, like kind of like I struggled a little bit, to hide the glue, but in the end you do see some glue, but I mean it doesn't really bother me too much. It just bothers me when I'm looking at the ears. And honestly, when you have the ears on your head, like your hair kind of like hides that part anyway, so it's okay. And then you could also always cover that up with like your accessories that you're gonna put. Like you could put your little flowers along the edges on both sides, so that you hide kind of like where the ear and the headband meets. And I kind of did that too, just to hide it a little bit. And in the end, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Nobody's gonna like look up close to your ear anyways. And so now I'm just putting down the leaves first, just securing them down with a little bit of glue. I think I should have put a little bit more glue. I just didn't want to kind of like overdo it. But they didn't come off in the park. I only had one incident in the park where one of my little white flowers was gone by the end of the day. I don't know how that happened. I don't know when that happened. So yeah, make sure you put glue down in the important parts of the flower, like down the stem maybe, just anywhere that's already touching the leaf would be a good idea to just put touching the ear, my bad. That would be a good place to put glue, just to keep it secure. You don't want them to fall off. And I did go back and like glue another little flower that I had on my ear, just because I might want to use these again. So I really like these little like I don't know what they are, but they're like little like balls, little like sprinkly flowers kind of. They're just so cute. So I decided to add these into my ears, and I just stuck them on. They're like little teeny tiny balls, and like if you like even like if you touch them too much, they'll like come off. They're like a bit of styrofoam, I think, but I think they were just so cute, and so I decided to add them, of course, along with some of the little flowers that already come attached to them. And I think I added 2 on each ear just to add an extra layer, you know. Yeah, you gotta go big or go home on these ears. And honestly, like the Mickey ears is like the only time you could be like wearing something so extra like this on your head, so it's kind of like, yes, do it. So now I'm going to be adding my little white ears. Just trying to arrange them to look the best that they can. These were a little bit tricky to add because I didn't want to stick them, or I didn't want to glue down the like petal parts, because then it might look weird, or sometimes the glue does seep through, especially since these are white. But in this like the pointy part of the flower, it was like too like no, it wasn't securing enough, so I had to like kind of spread it around a little bit more. But I don't think any of the glue seeped through, so that was good. So I'm just arranging these. And then the middle one was a bit tricky. I didn't know how I was going to put it down, so I just put some on the bottom and kind of tried to keep it straight. I do think that I put another flower in the back just to kind of hide that little like stem piece that you see. Just to hide it, you know. Yeah, so here I'm just gonna be adding that to the back, and it also hides like that like kind of like empty spot that you see there in between the 2 ears. I think I also should have probably added some to the back, but I didn't. But I mean, it's okay. So now I'm just adding those little yellow flowers in the center of these little white flowers, because I thought that those centers were missing something little, something special. So in here you did have to put a lot of glue just to keep it secure. I really like how this looks. I think it just looks so cute. Somebody did tell me that these ears look like Lilo and Stitch kind of vibes, which I don't know if how I feel about that. I mean, I'm not like a huge fan of Lilo and Stitch, but I do see that. But anyways, these were gonna go with my Epcot outfit. So I was wearing like a red kind of skirt, so I really wanted to have red ears, and it was also the flower and garden festival, so of course leaves and flowers are a must for your Mickey ears. So the last thing I'm doing is adding another one of those little like little sticks with the little balls on them. And I think that is pretty much it for these ears. I really, really love how they turned out. I think they came out a lot better than my Lion King ears. Well, they were a lot easier to do, and they were a lot more secure, and they were much lighter. So I did think that these were an improvement, even though I just loved the Lion King theme that I did for the other ones. I'm talking about like functionally, I guess, for these ears. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this video, if you'd like to see other kinds of DIYs. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!